the oldest members of my government are me and our ambassador here. And actually, because we still remember the Soviet Union in bad ways. I mean, Timur was a young Jewish activist who was jailed last time in the late 80s for staging an embassy against Syria, demonstration against Syrian embassy in Moscow. I was investigated by KGB when I was first-year student at Kiev University for anti-Soviet activities, but we remember it. Although I was fifth-year student when it got disintegrated, so I never got the experience of working under Soviets. But we have ministers in our 20s that don't even remember how Soviet Union looked. They never wore pioneer ties. And that's the key to change, actually, because in many ways, biblical myth of Moses is a real one. I mean, actually, you need the whole change of generation to move away from that old system. And that's why I think the best asset we have in our government at every level are young people. And that creates friction. That creates friction between generations. And, my grandmother is still around and she's not happy, or my parents that, there is this thing that, young people have taken over everything. But that's actually, I think it's happened naturally. It happened naturally because there is this new ideology in place, which, way of life. It's not even ideology, that you need to be very innovative and you need to be young. And I think from that point of view, Middle East has much bigger asset. But the biggest challenge is that with revolutions is that you get people in the street who feel empowered, and they think that they can do just anything, and they can claim just anything. So it's always nice to watch when just newly appointed prime minister goes out to the crowds and tell them, if you are not pleased, I will resign again. That's how it is. But in fact, when it goes to real governance, it moves away from waving flags and from, we had a revolution that looked like rock concert. And then we go to everyday job. And we know that reformers are always competing against the time. Window of opportunity for reform is limited. It can be shut down very fast. And it's always competition against the time and against the expectations. You have amazing, people in Egypt, like people in Georgia. We had President Shevardnadze who ruled Georgia for 30 years as a Communist Party head and then as president. And everybody thought he was eternal. So people, because they thought he was so eternal, they thought they could depose him and they could do just anything. But then it goes to hard job of governing, and that gets very hard.